And more launch your captions. And I believe we are now ready to go ahead and get started. So, good morning, everybody. Good to see those of you who have been absent for a while. It's good to see you. So let's just go ahead and get started with. We have several new people this morning, and so I want to go ahead and have them briefly introduce themselves, and then we will jump into our program this morning. So with that, Zeta, do you want to introduce yourself real quickly, please?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. My name is Zeta Didal-Picoro. I am about 2 months in, I think, to being Director of Government Affairs and Public Policy for the Arizona Commission for the Deaf and the Hard of Hearing. And I'm really grateful for the invite to join you all today. I'm happy to share a little bit more about the commission and what we do, but I will also just pass for now if anyone would, for some of the other new folks.
Yeah, and Zeta, I think I mentioned to you that we will probably want to schedule you for for a presentation in the near future, particularly since you're looking at trying to get some legislation passed here in Arizona. But as I mentioned, Ryan is on this call today, and several other people who I think would probably want to connect with you.
That sounds great. I'm happy to do that.
Sounds great. So let's see, who else do we have that's new this morning? I think is that everybody that's new? No, there should be somebody else that was new here, I thought.
I'm new. I'm Thomas. I'm new.
I'm sorry, who is that?
It's Thomas with Idea Tech.
Oh, yeah, Thomas. So you want to introduce yourself real quickly, please?
Yeah. I'll try and be brief. So I'm Thomas Garrett. I do business development with Idea Tech. We're a broadband fiber internet provider and fixed wireless provider, and primarily in the state of Kansas. At the moment, we have a couple 100,000 homes that we serve in the state of Kansas, and do a lot, rural and urban deployments, work hand in hand pretty significantly with the state broadband office in Kansas to help them deploy grant-funded projects in rural areas of Kansas, and participated in CAF2 and Capital Projects Fund and COVID emergency response grants and various different things. The company Idea Tech is probably new to you guys. We're about 25 years old in total. Was started by a group of 5 high school kids doing computer repair in a town of about 900 homes in Kansas called Beulah, and has grown, over the last 25 years to what we are today, but primarily through just a team of people that really care about what we do every day, and the mission of getting internet freedom for folks. And that's looked a little different as we've grown. The more that we've done metro deployments, we found that what that looks like for us is, freeing people of poor customer service and contracts and things that, tie folks to broadband use, less than just not having access to service, which was kind of our primary in the rural area. There just wasn't access to good options. So anyway, that's us. The mission is to connect folks and provide internet freedom, and we're really excited. We've been working with the city of Tucson to become a licensee in the right of way in the city of Tucson, so we can deploy some fiber broadband. We're really excited. So glad that you guys. Thank you very much for having me today, and love to participate in any way I can.
Sounds great. Thanks for joining us, Thomas. Appreciate it. And Samantha, you want to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Samantha Addix, owner of Allies Consulting. I am building a broadband AI program management system that will help cities manage their ISPs without having to be so hands-on and provide more services to our people. Thank
Great.
you.
Well, thanks for joining us, Samantha. Appreciate it. Okay, anybody else that I've missed that's new this morning? So a couple of quick things before we get into the presentation about the city of Tucson. First of all, John, do you have anything? Your event is gearing up today. Tonight, do you want to just give another quick shout out?
Yeah, sure. So this is our fourth AI workshop that we've held, and it's here at the Embry-Riddle campus in the College of Business Security and Intelligence. We have a reception tonight at the Center for the Future from 6 to 8 if you want to join us. And if you are keen on learning more about what's happening, our keynote speaker is from the Netherlands. He's saying, will our falling for AI become true love? So it's a fun title, and it's probably be one of the more accessible talks. We have a lot of talks on the nuts and bolts of how AI works and is being used in communications, telecommunications, space, aerospace, cybersecurity, and other applications. Hope you can join us.
Great, thanks, John. So a couple of other things. Melanie, just in case you have to drop off early, do you want to give us an update on what's happening with the telemedicine program?
Sure, I'll give you the Cliff Note version. Thank you, Steve. So my name is Melanie Escher. I'm with the Arizona Telemedicine Program here at the University of Arizona. So I'm sure you've all heard of this kind of grant that's going around, this RHTP grant. Yes, we are applying. We are applying at a tier 3 level on it, hub and spoke telemedicine partnership. And we've got...
excuse me, Melanie, you might actually explain to people what that grant is, because probably not everybody knows that.
So the RHTP is the Rural Health Transformation Program. It's a federal grant that's come out. It's coming through portion that we're going through. Each state is managing it. The portion that we're working through is through Access. And it's specifically on the telehealth piece. It's the Arizona RHTP, the telehealth digital transformation portion. So that's where our expertise is, of course, in telehealth. It's federally qualified health center serving rural, medically underserved communities across Arizona, including rural clinics and Indian health services as well. Not just the underserved, it's specific to rural areas as defined by HRSA definitions. So addresses make a difference on this. But I was going to say we are working in 7 different Arizona counties with 20 different rural clinics, hospitals, including some Indian health services between Maricopa and Pinal County as well. So we're really excited about that. It's due this week. We've been working diligently, getting all the letters of support, and fingers crossed that we'll be able to have some really positive impact in our state.
Awesome.
There's a Cliff Note version, Steve.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's the biggest thing, because that's where all of our energies have been focused on lately. But thank you.
Okay. So Zeta, I don't know if you've been in touch with the Arizona Telemedicine Program, which for those who don't know, I think the Arizona program is one of, if not the top telemedicine program in the country. And I believe, Zeta, that you had mentioned your interest in telemedicine. So if you haven't been in touch with them, Melanie is a good contact for you.
Thank you. Melanie, I did my MPH at the downtown Phoenix campus, and so I'm very familiar with the telemedicine program, but would love to chat more. We do a lot of work in the telemedicine space at the Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. and a lot of work in terms of like best practices for ASL interpretation in particular, and for captioning for people who are hard of hearing. So I don't know if you all have factored any of that into the grant that you're applying for, but I think if you would like to even just have some consultation or anything like that, we'd be happy to do that. But I don't know. Again, I'm very new to this role. I don't know how much we've partnered in the past, and don't want to reiterate anything that's already been done.
Sure. No, it'd be great to connect. I'll put my emails in the chat that you can reach out to me. We can find a time to chat.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Okay,
Sorry.
great.
Melanie, I had one quick question for you, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead, Kamala.
Thank you. Melanie, you mentioned that you were applying at tier 3 level. Is that what is the tier 3 involved? Is that a higher grant amount or different areas to?
It is. There's 4 different tiers on this grant, and I was going over them yesterday, thinking that someone would actually ask about this. But T3 is institutional level. T2, T1, they're a little bit smaller. They're more for smaller kind of clinic spaces. And T4 is for actual healthcare organizations, larger healthcare organizations. So yeah, it has to do with the dollar amount. I think tier 3, if I remember correctly, is between 500 and 2 million. Tier 4 is 2 to 5 million. Tier 2 is under 500,000. Tier 1 is less than that as well. I don't remember the dollar numbers off the top of my head, but yeah, there's different tiers. So some of the clinics that, of course, we're working with aren't eligible for tier 3. So it's part of, we've done letters of support for some of the clinics as well that are applying for their own level.
Yes.
So it's a very collaborative process, and it's the connections that we've been able to make over the years to say, hey, we've got some opportunities to collaborate. Are you interested? And we've had lots of meetings with the CEOs of these places.
Right. Televeda is also applying for the grant. I think they are also applying for tier 3. Padma Tagarse, I think she used to attend the AZBSN calls before. I'm not sure whether you have made contact with her, but they are also applying for it. Just so you know who else in Arizona. That's all who I know in Arizona. I don't know if anyone else is applying.
Yeah, there's varying levels even within each tier. Of course, we're focusing very specifically on the telehealth piece and the telemedicine. There's a lot of different categories, I guess you could say,
Right.
for people that are applying for different gaps in their healthcare, what they see for their communities. So,
Right.
but yeah, there's a lot of folks applying. It's a lot of money. So it's like I think it's a total of 17 million that we've got that people are going after, a piece of it.
Okay. Melanie, can you remind people about it? And you probably said it and I missed it, about where that funding is coming from?
Oh, it's this. Okay, so it's the federal grant that's coming out, but for each state they're managing it. Specifically, ours is going through Access here in the state of Arizona.
And
For
what
this-
and what
for
federal
this piece
pot?
of it.
What federal pot is that coming from? What federal organization is that coming from?
Besides,
I think.
that's a
Isn't
really
it
good
Maha?
question. All the acronyms.
I think it's
I think it's
Maha, if I'm not
Medicaid.
mistaken.
Is it Medicaid? Medicaid is probably the overarching, but the piece that we're doing, our applications are going back to Access specifically for the state,
Got it.
the pot of money in our state.
I think it's
Okay.
a part of that Maha program, Make America Healthy Again.
You know what? You could very well be with that. I'm looking at the downstream end. It's like, okay, what do I need to do? How am I helping support this? So, but yeah, it's definitely federal funds, but Medicaid sounds right.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Melanie or Mala before we move on? Okay, well, if not, I'm pleased. We have mentioned, actually, we talked a little bit at our last meeting about the City of Tucson's initiative, Fiber to the Premise. And after chasing them for many months, we are pleased to have Josh here and his team um, to give us an update on what's happening, what that project is, what's happening, what the status is, and so forth. And so I'm going to turn it over to you, Josh. And I know Max is here, Nicholas is here with the city of Tucson. And so I don't know how you guys want to, and Brad also is here with the city of Tucson. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Josh, and let you, kick it off and see where everybody else fits in.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate the chance to be here and to present to everyone. So, I'm Josh Anderson. I work for Bonfire Infrastructure Group. I'm a strategy and planning manager there, and we've been supporting the city of Tucson in kind of standing up and launching a fiber to the premises initiative over the last year and a half now. Yeah, so as Steve said, pleased to be joined by a couple folks from the city and a couple new internet service providers who are beginning to build out fiber networks in the city. So we'll give kind of just an overview on what the program is, the goals, kind of what we've been working on, and then pass it over to each of our ISPs as well to give a quick intro for folks that don't know them or aren't aware of their companies and what they're doing in the city. And from there, we'll just open it up to questions. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and we just have a couple slides for you guys. You guys seeing that presentation? Okay.
There you go.
All right. Okay. And Nick, I may pass it over to you first to just kind of talk overarching on the program, and I can fill in the gaps here.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. And hi, everyone. If you haven't met me before, my name is Nick Gazier. I'm a project manager with City of Tucson, Department of Transportation and Mobility. So I manage the FTTP program here in Tucson, as well as utility licensing and a variety of right-of-way management responsibilities. So just to jump into the FTTP program, what are the goals? Why does it matter? Primarily, it's to expand fiber availability in Tucson, specifically areas that have had fewer high-speed options in the past. So we're really looking to encourage a broad and equitable rollout across all wards and areas of the city, not just selected highest profit neighborhoods. And so this is really to increase service options, but also to increase to strengthen competition and improve access to high-speed internet for both residents and businesses in Tucson. And all of this combined investment, it supports work, school, healthcare, local business activity, and then just your day-to-day internet usage. So under this program, we are projecting 95% plus fiber availability after the initial 5-year build out. And then we will be looking to close that 5% gap as well. But I'll pass it back to Josh for just some details about how the program is functioning and also for some intros from our program participants.
Yeah, nothing fixed. Yeah, so as Nick mentioned, this is an initiative to encourage and incentivize private ISPs to build out. At one point the city considered, hey, does it make sense to build our own network to fill these gaps? And really did some analysis on that and quickly realized, hey, it's financially that's a huge commitment and just not something that the city wants to pursue. But instead, there's have always been private internet service providers that are very excited and very capable to build out their own networks in the city, just given the size and density of Tucson. And so what the city's done is launch a new program with the goal, as Nick mentioned, of citywide coverage, or as close to 100% as we can get in the next 5 years. Really how it's working is through a license and right-of-way agreement between the city and individual service providers. With that right-of-way agreement comes kind of a higher level of coordination and support from the city. So our staff at Bonfire is supporting the city through this 5-year program. We have dedicated permitting and inspection staff that have been hired or will be hired for specifically for this program for fiber. We've seen in other cities just huge influx of construction and kind of a strain on existing city staff that might not have been ready for 100,000 homes to be passed by fiber. And with that, we're at the same time providing kind of an easy button for our providers as well, and trying to give them all of the tools and assets that the city has access to, all the pertinent information to streamline their build plans as well. So yeah, like I mentioned, high level of coordination between the city and these providers. We're providing as much data as possible on ongoing capital projects, be it Tucson Water, housing, and, really every department across the city. Certainly DTM, transportation and mobility, and all of the work they're doing in the roads. Trying to make that data available to internet service providers so they can, as much as possible, avoid conflicts or find efficiencies and ways that they can potentially have some cost savings as they construct across the city. Yeah, and with that, there's going to be kind of a dashboard or interactive tool that service providers will have access to, and then also a public-facing one that residents can see. Hey, who's constructing in my neighborhood, or has my home been passed by fiber? Okay, who's the fiber provider? We all know some of that data is available publicly and from the FCC, for example, and then certainly our ISPs. I know will be doing a ton of marketing as soon as they get into areas to let people know, hey, fiber's available, and it's a great product to sign up for. So, but the city's also going to have kind of its own public-facing web map that folks can go to, see where construction's happening. If someone's in the right of way, okay, who is that provider, and then how can I get in touch with them if I have any issues or questions. As well with this, the city's working through implementing a micro trenching standard for the first time. So lots of work has been done on that to just create a standard that works and that providers are comfortable with. Lots of feedback from the marketplace, from both of these ISPs, of course, but just other interested parties and folks that have a vested interest in micro trenching and in construction in the city. See, okay, I think that's everything on my end. Any initial questions there?
Hey, Josh, you might explain to people about what micro trenching is. I know people have heard that term, but I'm not sure people actually know what it is and the benefits and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a newer construction method for fiber. Essentially, instead of a traditional bore, traditional trench that could be, call it 8, 12 inches wide or larger, and then boring tends to be a lot deeper in the ground. Micro trenching is an extremely small trench, maybe just a couple inches at most, that allows you to lay a extremely thin micro conduit to pull your fiber through, and it's only a handful of inches deep in the road surface. So something that essentially doesn't creates a little less disturbance, a little less restoration requirement, and can be done significantly faster. And you mainly see that in more residential neighborhoods, and it kind of goes right up against where the curb meets the asphalt in the road. So long story short, very, very quick and efficient way to deploy fiber. Can be less costly as well, but certainly be quicker. So
yeah, and Josh, we've got a PowerPoint if anybody wants to see that. Maybe not today if we don't have time, but happy to meet with anybody that wants to take a look.
Well, Max, I was going to get to you in just a minute and thought you'd probably have some good things to say, as does one of your other people who is on this call and joins us regularly.
Yeah.
So Josh, do you have any, or Nick, either of you guys have anything more that you need to add? Or does anybody have any questions for them?
Looks like Dave does.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Dave. Yes, you have your hand raised. Sorry.
Yeah, real quick, a second. For those of you in Tucson, what I'm working on here, and I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but I have broached the subject here in Sarita, is eliminating this per foot easement fee. I suspect they're charging it in Tucson. Having lived in several different places. The places that were always on the front edge did not have that. It lowers the cost of entry. And I really want to start to get fiber in the ground treated like a utility as opposed to some kind of an optional thing. So far, when I've talked to the ISPs, every one of them seems, they're more than happy to not have that per foot easement fee. And it's a kind of a quasi public private partnership that doesn't involve the town being all in. And the only caveat being, it has to be written into the contract that once it's in the easement, if the company leaves or if it's abandoned, then it becomes, the property of the city or the town. But interested in your thoughts on that. And if I can get some momentum, I briefly broached the subject with our finance director here, and he did not kick me out of the office. So, no one likes to give up, no jurisdiction is going to want to give up that revenue, but that's what I'm working on. So any thoughts on that? Anybody who's interested in that idea, I'd appreciate your support.
Okay, any questions or comments before we move on?
And we have, Steve, just one or two quick slides here.
Sure.
Yeah. And so really the big I guess takeaway or announcement for the city, we have two licensed fiber to the premises providers, both of which are represented today at this meeting. We have Idea Tech and Wired Fiber, and just wanted to give each of them a moment to introduce themselves, say a few words. We heard from Thomas just a little bit ago, but I think we'll start with you, Thomas, at Idea Tech.
You just beat me to it, Josh. I was just about to do that.
Yep, no worries.
Yeah, I mean, not to be duplicative, but yeah, we're Idea Tech. We're primarily based in Kansas today. We're super excited to participate in the right-of-way license program in the city of Tucson and get some fiber built out to homes and businesses in Tucson. We're not local today, but we intend to be local in the future, right? We're gonna hire. We've already hired 4 or 5 local resources to the city of Tucson, and we'll be continuing to hire folks to support the operation as it gets going, and working with the city and the folks at Bonfire to try and get build plans established and going as soon as possible. We try and focus a lot. One thing that I would say that I wouldn't say necessarily we do it differently, but we try and focus on it really a lot is education as we come in. The availability is there. So, Josh kind of mentioned the city's trying to do some work to make sure folks know who's building in the right of way and what services are available. I mean, we take that very seriously because, we're putting a lot of money in the ground and we want to put customers on that network. So we're going to work as hard as we can to make sure there's education through the build process and, note construction letters ahead of time to let folks know that construction's coming, door hangers ahead of construction resources so that they know who's going to be in the right of way and accessing easements, and then post that door hangers and communications at the door to help folks kind of understand what is the new service that's available to them and how can they adopt it. So we're really trying to be a good partner and be thorough in our communication. I mean, we're also aware of a couple of the state initiatives. I'd love to learn more, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to join today was just to kind of understand who the folks are and what broadband efforts are in and around the city of Tucson. But aware of your middle mile project that's happening. We actually are doing a similar project in the state of Kansas. We work with the Kansas Department of Transportation, the primary contractor, building their state middle mile network. So I really understand the importance of those projects and how they can help get connectivity. And if we can, we'd love to leverage that and any other state initiatives that are happening in Arizona. So great to meet you guys. Thanks for having me today. And if anybody has any questions specifically for me, they can reach out afterwards, and I'm more than happy to talk to anybody. So thank you.
Any questions for Thomas? Going once, going twice. Okay, then we're ready to move on. And we're about to move on with our friends who are here pretty regularly with Max and Jason with Wired. So guys, take it away. I know, Jason, we heard a little bit from you the other day when Max wasn't here, but Max or Jason, you guys want to kind of share your thoughts about what's happening?
Yeah, absolutely. So good morning, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Max Salvankovich. I'm the Director of Market Development for Wired Fiber here in Southern Arizona. And we are extremely excited to have partnered with the City of Tucson to be a fiber to the premises licensee. We will be getting going with bringing fiber to the home here in the next couple of months. So you'll start seeing our trucks run around Tucson. But I think the beauty that I would like to highlight is this is the first time in 25 to 30 years that the city of Tucson will have widely available high-speed broadband from a fiber provider. So great job, Nick and Josh, for bringing that one home. Thank you for being great partners. Something to know about Wired, we are 100% Arizona based. We are headquartered up in the West Valley of Phoenix in Surprise and Jason's Market. We came in to Southern Arizona mid last year, started in Marana, built that out, built Oro Valley. We will be getting going with Michelle and team here in Pima County on Monday. Sahuarita's going strong, as Dave has mentioned numerous times. But the next big milestone for us is getting going in Tucson. We will be deploying significant amounts of capital, 200 million plus, and covering a really, really large portion of the city of Tucson. So this is very exciting, not only for us, but Idea Tech as well. We're excited to get in market with them. With that said, another kind of fun fact about Wired, we were named Arizona's fastest, most reliable internet service provider. We provide speeds up to 8 gig to the home, symmetrical. And the mission has always been provide that service by 100% local teams. So everybody in the city of Tucson will be served by a Pima County employee, which is a vast difference in the level of customer service that we're able to provide compared to some of our competitors / incumbents.
Great. Thanks, Max. Any questions for Max? Jason, you still on? Do you want to say anything?
I have a quick question. I love again, Josh, great job there. You and the team, and then also the city. I know it was a long process that you all worked with. I think I started talking to everyone, I think Mazzarella and all of them almost 2.5 years ago. I know it's probably a slug, but man, what a great job there. Couldn't say more than maybe what Max just said. I also state that, when it comes to the how we're going into the neighborhoods and all of that, we will affect, and this will be the same for Idea Tech, right? It's not just going to be the lives of the people in the neighborhoods. It's also going to impact, those small, medium businesses, right? They're going to feel the same kind of intentionality as this network rolls out, and that's going to just bring more people to want to build their businesses here in Tucson. And I think that's really exciting. I think that's going to be able to bring a lot of more opportunities to the Tucson area, and really just put Tucson on the map as this great innovative hub, right? Especially that 4 or 5 year plan, Josh. That's the key, right? And we're here to help do that. So that's all I had to say.
Thanks, awesome. Jason. Don't get to see you much these days. Well, I don't get out much, and you're not around much. But anyway, it's good to see you. And Josh, could you stop sharing now, please?
Yeah.
So we can get back to having there we go. Hold on just a second
Steve,
here. Yeah,
Jessica Green here. I have a question.
yeah, I was just going to ask who that was that had something to say there. So go ahead, Jessica.
Yeah, Jessica Breen, Operations Manager for Rincon Wireless, Hawk Networks. I wanted to follow up with a couple of questions that were in the chat about how the program's funded. Have a general idea just from, what's the information that's been provided, but if you guys can give a little overview on that, because it's super exciting what you're doing. And then also for the city, are you going to be licensing other fiber providers as they come available? With all the fiber that's getting rolled out through the corridor, I'm assuming there will be other players interested. And how are you guys intending to reach customers where fiber can't get to? Are you partnering with other ISPs? How does that look? What's the plan?
All right, had a couple questions in there, so I'll try to get all of them. And if I miss any, just let me know. So as far as program funding, one of the key pieces of direction from city leadership was to keep this program cost neutral. So all of the program costs are funded directly through licensee revenues. As far as additional providers, it's not a closed system. So the Tucson market, the FTTT program is open and operating. So for any other providers that are interested, for those that are still in active conversations with the city, those are still moving forward or will move forward if companies are interested. I think your last question was about last mile, sort of those last few percentage points of coverage, those difficult to cover areas. So we are really focused on that last 5%. We mentioned 95%, which is a huge achievement as part of that 5-year deployment schedule. However, we don't forget about the 5%. So we're really looking at these harder to deploy neighborhoods as opportunities to deploy a couple different tools. So whether that's different infrastructure deployment technology, or if it is aerial, if there's direct support that the city can offer to get providers into these neighborhoods, into these more difficult to serve areas in Tucson, then we're very focused on doing that.
Jessica, did that get your questions answered?
Yeah, thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate that.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Is there, do IdeaTech and wired fiber, do they overlap in terms of deploying fiber to the same locations in any cases, or is it all kept separate?
I can't speak in specifics to their build and deployment plan, but the city doesn't. The city's not like controlling specifically where each provider needs to go. That's really part of entering the market, engaging in a competitive environment. That said, as we know, the state of overbuild generally is pretty low percentage points. So I wouldn't expect a massive, extensive amount of overbuild, but there definitely could be some.
So will these two providers, did you say they will cover about 95% of the homes and businesses in Tucson, or is that the number?
Yeah, in combination with the existing incumbent coverage, I think sits around 25% of the city. 95% of the city will be covered within 5 years.
Okay.
Dave, you have something else?
Yeah, and for the ISPs, this more pertains to Green Valley than Cerrito, where the older customers are. One of the common questions they have that I can't answer is what's going to happen to their home phone. There's quite a few of them that are still can pick up a telephone and call. So if
we offer solutions there, Dave. I've chatted with a bunch of Green Valley communities that are excited to be able to keep a home phone line. So
yeah.
We got them taken care of. Don't worry, sir.
And we do that really well in some communities similar, like Sun City West, Sun City Grand. We have a lot of the people, the snowbirds in those communities that yes, they still use their phones. They love their phones, and we can help them get those phone numbers switched over to us if that's what they need, as a solution. And it's very seamless.
Well, and truth be told, I am one of those old people with a home phone that likes to pick it up.
You're gonna have
We
a
didn't want to
wired
say where you
DID
live,
now,
Dave.
Thank you all.
Yeah,
Zeta, I'm gonna put you on the spot for a second. That issue, is that an issue for your population of people that you're serving?
Yes. Well, so there's a couple of issues there. I just want to say thank you to everyone who's still providing landline service, because the commission is a state agency. We've been around for 50 years next October, and we are funded through a 1.1% surcharge on your profits made from landlines, if there are profits to be made from landlines these days. So we just wanted to say thank you. But part of why we have engaged with this group is because we understand that we need to modernize that funding system, and are looking at ways that we can do that, and are hoping to kind of gain some support from others who want to make sure that communication is accessible. So but yeah, I can also, we also offer, like, one of the things that we do with that revenue is provide people with specialized equipment so that they can use the phone system that we have, or so that they can use their cell phone and have it receive their voice, have it convert the other person's speech to text. So we have all kinds of technologies. It's not just the TTY typewriter anymore. Though we do still have, I think, 2 people in the state who use those. So,
Hey,
Right.
Steve, if you don't mind,
Yeah,
I'd like
Max.
to just say one more thing, because I think it's important to understand that this is, and to Jason's point, he spoke on SMB, small business, medium business. I think the other important piece is the benefit that the city itself is going to get from this program, and being able to modernize some of the existing infrastructure that is in the ground, right? From fiberizing streetlights so they're a little quicker. I think anybody that's lived in Tucson for any extended period of time has driven down Speedway and probably wanted to not have the best of days, getting stuck at red light after red light. So things like that are going to provide a tremendous benefit to the community as well, that are going to be provided by ISPs like ourselves and Idea Tech.
Right. Thanks, Max. Important point.
I could tag on that really quick, just to note, one of the primary markets that we compare in the markets that we've deployed, that we compare to the city of Tucson, is Wichita, Kansas. It's similarly sized in population, and we have a great relationship with the folks there. And to date we've helped the city put 15 more miles in their municipal fiber network for supporting traffic systems through shared trench and deployments as we deploy our broadband network. So it's a real benefit, right? Like, you can reduce the cost for that infrastructure going in the ground if we coordinate. And so it's been really helpful to get to know the folks at the city of Tucson, and it looks like those sorts of deployments are going to be successful there too. So it's we're excited about that.
Okay. Thanks, Thomas. Any other questions on this before we move on? Okay, if not, Paul, I know you got a deadline coming up and you need some help, so you want to do some begging?
Well, thank you for that little plug there. Yes, I have been working for about 6 years on my doctorate, centered on closing the digital divide. I've met with my team, and I'm needing at least another 5 people to interview regarding the model that I've developed. I just sent out one email to somebody from this list. But really, yeah, I'd like to really need to get about 5 more people to provide their input. The model is very comprehensive, and it doesn't just necessarily deal with the technology aspects of closing the digital divide. It's pretty encompassing. My doctorate is very extensive. I've pulled in nearly 30,000 artifacts over the 6 years, contributing to it. So yes, I desperately need at least 5 people, preferably a couple more, to be able to interview next week for up to an hour. We'll get through it in the hour. But basically, I'm looking for volunteers who are willing to let me ask some questions of them, show them the model, and for them to provide input into it. I am going to be wrapping up the writing of my dissertation within the next 2 weeks. So this is like the last hurrah where I'm trying to get everything in, and to make any adjustments to the model now will be the time to make the final adjustments. But really, I've been part of this group now since 2020, and I really am hoping that we can bring this across the finish line. I feel like it's almost a collective effort, because all the meetings that we've had regarding AZBSN, you'll see some of that reflected in the dissertation itself. But it's pretty awe-inspiring, I think. My dissertation will be over 1,000 pages long, and it will also be a model that can be practically applied, and that will be very evident within the dissertation itself. So that's my plea. I'm looking for at least 5. So please step up, just share me your email. I will shoot you the information right now, and then we can get some things scheduled. But I'm really looking for anyone and anybody who is connected to this group actually does qualify under my criteria for inclusion. There's an informed consent form and a short survey as well. And then we have the interview. So that's it. That's my plea.
Great. Thanks, Paul. Seth, haven't seen you in a while. Got anything new or exciting that you want to tell us before we move on?
Hey there, Steve. Great to see you again. It has been a whirlwind. As you know, Aaron Ball, my mentor guide, retired from Center for the Future of Arizona and is now with SALC in Tucson, the Southern Arizona Leadership Council. I still get to interact with him pretty regularly via text and email. But it's been a real busy time, to say the least. And another really great piece of news is Center for the Future of Arizona has hired a new project manager for Tucson and Pima County. I'll drop her LinkedIn into the chat and her email. Just absolutely fantastic colleague and co-worker now, Dr. Esperanza Frichen. And she has a background with ASU, with U of A, with Pima Community College, Pima JTED. Just a real pleasure to work with. And I'll be sending the invites for this to her as well. And hoping she can join and learn from this wonderful group. And then I don't know if Manny Felix is on or any of the team from AZ Cyber, but they've been working on RAMPS grant in Southeast Arizona, Tucson, Pima County, with quite a few industry partners, several school districts, Pima Community College and the U of A, really getting students a chance to do hands-on work-based learning and internships in and around cybersecurity. And so if any of you have never met Manny and his team, I highly recommend them. Great folks, AZ Cyber Initiative. And I'll drop my email in the chat as well if you want to follow up with me. But I miss you, Steve. I haven't been away because I wanted to be away. I just have been away because of travel and work.
Great. Thanks, Seth. And thanks for reminding me about Manny. I should probably get in touch with him. We don't see him. I know he's busy, but it would be good to hear from him about what he's doing. So before we move on, I would like some feedback from you folks. As you know, I've been on vacation. I will be back in Arizona on September the 5th. And as you know, we've been meeting every 2 weeks rather than every week. And I'm just wondering how you guys feel about that. Do we continue every other week? Do we go back to once a week? You have any thoughts or feelings about that one way or another? Okay, I guess not. Most likely, I'm going to go to every 2 weeks because theoretically, I'm semi-retired at this point, and so going to spend more time doing other things. but I do want to keep the meetings going. As you know, originally I was planning to end the meetings, but I think I'm going to continue going on. But I do want to make sure that I keep my wife happy and me. So anyway, I'm planning on every 2 weeks, unless I hear from you folks otherwise, that we should go back to once a week. Okay.
Every 2 weeks has been easy for my schedule a little bit, Steve, so I'm good with that.
Okay. So, so you're saying, Paul, good for you too. So that's going to be my plan, is for us to do, and I'll send out calendar invites. I just wanted to kind of get that taken care of first. So moving on, Molly, you have any quick updates, anything that we need to know about? I know there's lots happening with the Fed these days.
Yes, I'm
Scary, isn't
Mala
it?
Muralidharan. Yes, Steve, I'll be quick about this.
Yeah.
I'm Mala Muralidharan, the State E-Rate Administrator for Public Libraries. I work with the State Library of Arizona. Um, I wanted to mention that E-Rate was under a threat of termination, and I say was because it seems, at least now, that it is off the plate. Shelby actually met all three FCC commissioners. Shelby is Schools, Health, Libraries, Broadband Coalition, and they put a team together, and 2 weeks ago they met all three FCC commissioners' staff. And the very next day, there was a blog post from FCC that said that they are not planning on terminating E-rate, which is a sigh of relief. But there are still a lot of things that are being discussed, which is, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. So if you go back to our previous meetings, you will see all of the things that FCC is planning to do with the E-rate program, as well as with the rural health program, both of which are managed by USAC under the Universal Service Fund, which itself is being threatened. The Consumer Research had a court case about the validity of the program, about FCC's delegation of its authority to USAC, the Universal Service Administrative Company, to administer these funds. And Supreme Court rejected it, but the Fifth Circuit, it's gone back to the Fifth Circuit for another appeal. So Consumer Research doesn't seem to want to give up on this yet. So we're not over the hill yet. So we don't know what the next step will be, which is, so the whole fund, the USF fund, is under threat still. The other thing that FCC is looking at is the managed internal broadband services. This MIBS for short is one of the smallest items in the E-rate funding. It is a part of managing the Wi-Fi services. So MIBS actually pays to run the Wi-Fi and internal network at a school or library. It helps with monitoring, configuration, patching, troubleshooting, the management of the life cycle. All of this is done by the service provider so that it frees the school or the library from having to do this constant monitoring. But according to FCC, it is a way of not employing people or having technical staff at the school or library to manage this. And that argument, of course, does not really hold water, because schools and libraries have other jobs. That is their primary job, not running or monitoring the Wi-Fi network, although it is absolutely essential to have a network that is running free of errors, the patches are being done, troubleshooting is being done on a timely basis. So, and if we look at it, it is 0.45% of all of the program commitments for E-rate. it is that smaller percentage that they are nitpicking on. But again, it's being questioned. So I wanted to raise awareness here about it. So what would happen if they lose the service? We really have to uh, see if that is going to result in more employment at the school or library, technical employment at the school or library, or are they just going to give up monitoring and then wait for failure before they set it right? The other important federal news is that the president has nominated a third commissioner. So far, we have Trustee and Ana Gomez as the two commissioners, Trustee a Republican and Ana Gomez Democrat. And now he has nominated Daniel Thuman, who is the advisor to Brendan Carr, as the third commissioner. She is, of course, Republican. She's an advisor to Carr and has been by his side in all of the decisions that have been made that FCC is making. So that adds a new twist to it, which will then make the commission 3-1. And let's wait and see when this gets, with all of the things that are happening at the federal level, when this hearing will happen and when the confirmation will happen. We are not quite sure. But also at the same time, another twist is that Daniel Thuman is going on maternity leave pretty soon. So it's not likely to happen. The hearing is not likely to happen, confirmation hearing, in the very immediate future. But all three commissioners are coming to Shelby's AnchorNet conference. The annual conference is at Arlington, Virginia, October 5th to 7th. If any of you would like to register, that would be great. If you are willing to go to pay for your airfare, they would waive the registration if you register to volunteer. They have volunteer opportunities open. So if you can manage your stay and your airfare to Washington, D.C., they will waive registration. So, and if any of you are interested, let me know. I will put you in touch with the people who are running it so that you can get your free registration. And that's not a small amount. It's more than $500. So again, that's all I had. Steve, back to you.
Thank you, Mala. And just FYI, Mala has been very active with Shelby. Actually, I think she was recognized about a year or so ago for her work with Shelby. So she really keeps up on this stuff. Okay. Anything else, Mark? Do you have anything that you want to chime in on?
Sure, a few quick things. As to the new nominated FCC commissioner, the FCC, under its operating rules, needs really only two commissioners plus the chairman to vote on an action. So there is some suspicion or fear that if the new commissioner is appointed, the Democratic Commissioner Gomez might be let go. So some nuance in what is or may be happening at the FCC level. On the OMG, the Office of Management and Budget, enormous changes in grant management that does streamline some things, but also allow for its politicalization of letting political appointees, rather than or in conjunction with peers, review and approve grants, and also allow the rescinding of grants after they're awarded and in process for any discretionary reason. I believe the current budget bill and continuing resolution and all actually specifically prohibit OMG from adopting the new rules until the span of that. They were aiming at an October 1 implementation. They got 500,000 comments, almost entirely negative during the public process, which may or may not mean anything. But the budget bills out of Congress are delaying any action until at least December 3rd on that. I think we've mentioned before that the NTIA's Tribal Broadband Connectivity Program is in its third round, and the submission date has been extended 60 days to November 17th. It has both infrastructure opportunities, but those will be very limited to find places where that still don't have service, broadband rated service, and do not have commitments under BEAD or other programs. But the other side of it, the broadband use and adoption, is up to $2.5 million. And based on the 720 million available and the priority for broadband use and adoption, is a probably very easy grant to get for Native communities, $1 million to up to $2.5 million in that program. Finally, I am actively working on closing out the Tech Council's broadband policy positions and recommendations for 27. Those are due this Friday, though Commerce, Sandra Watson herself, and Nick Capozzi asked for a little more time to give me their response. I will share the draft of that at this. Steve and Henry and probably a few others on this call have been in the thread. Mala, Melanie, and I've gotten feedback from some. But that's about to wrap up, and it's a substantial rewrite this year at both the state and federal levels. Again, I'm glad to post the draft as we submit it. That'll certainly be in by the time we have our next meeting. After that, it does go through several levels of consolidation and editing. Usually doesn't change much, but what I'll be able to share in 2 weeks will not be the final version, but probably 96%, version of it. That's what I got, guys. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Anybody else have any updates that they want to share before we end for today? Well, thanks to all the city folks for being here today. I know most of them. Nick, thank you for being here. This is your first meeting, and hopefully we'll see you in the future. And I think that's, if there's no other announcements, again, Melanie, it was good to see you again. I know you've been busy, so appreciate you making time for us today.
Thank you. If anybody's interested, I got a 2-second overview. It is the One Big Beautiful Bill that was actually signed into law in July of 2025. The Rural Health Transformation Program stipulates $10 billion. However, the state of Arizona submitted $200 million a year, which is a $1 billion over 5 years. And then CMS basically, Arizona received $166,988,956 in funding for 2026, which ranks actually 22nd of the states in terms of funding per rural resident. Just a little tidbit of information there for you.
Cool. Thanks, Melanie.
You're welcome.
And ATIC was pleased to provide a letter of support for that application. Good luck with that.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that.
Okay. If there's nothing else, then I think we're done for today. We will be meeting in 2 weeks, and then I will be sending a calendar invite for the next few months after that. So again, good to see you all. Zeta, good to meet you, and look forward to your participation. Meantime, if there's anything we can help with, let us know. Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
Yep.
Thanks,
Bye,
Steve.
everybody. Greg, are you still there? Greg, are you still there? Apparently not.
Yes, I am.
Oh, so Greg, can you remind me who you are, please?
I am a professor emeritus from the University of Wisconsin and University of Maryland, and I also run a nonprofit, Raising the Floor, and we work on digital equity, particularly the last foot, which is the interface. Once you're connected, how do you make sure that everybody is actually able to use it? And we create a number of free tools for um, for everybody, for individuals, for organizations, et cetera, to deploy to make the computer easier to use and understand.
Yeah, actually, I do remember now, Greg. I always tell people I have a good memory, just a little bit short, and so I do remember that you have been here before, and I actually want to schedule a time for you to provide more information and detail. In the meantime, you heard from people like Zeta and a few others about what they're doing. I think there's some real possibilities for synergy with those groups. So
Yeah, and of course Arizona has a lot of people who are older, and the I'm 76 myself, but
yeah, I'm 78, so
yeah, I know you got me beat. I have to respect my elders here. The yeah, no, and but a lot of our seniors, the people who are senior to us, have trouble. I even have people who ran rehabilitation engineering research centers who came to me and said, you know, I'm beginning to have trouble using my email. Can you show me how to use your tools? Because I'm afraid in a few years I'm not going to be able to keep remember how to keep doing all this stuff or be able to keep doing this communication, especially since they keep changing things for no reason.
I was just going to say that.
It
But
doesn't do anything new. It just does it differently. And
yeah,
do you know about crystallized intelligence?
what's up?
Um, as when we're very, very young, little bitty kids are very, very, very plastic. They learn anything, you just pick it up. They will also forget it, but the about 29,